What's up, everybody? Welcome to Fanatically Speaking. I'm Kent.
I'm Logoff. I'm the Logoff legend. And we're here to say everything that every fan is thinking, but louder and probably a little crazier. Get ready. This is Fanatically Speaking with Kent and Logoff. You know what's funny? Like, I'm not a social media hater. I'm a social media hater. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't want people to think that I get on the internet and start hating people on social media. That's not what I do.
The first half was absolutely horrible. You know, just inept offense, inept defense, special teams, you name it.
I'm going to turn into Oprah. Why were you so angry?
He sucks this season. This game, whatever's going on, right? And the very next pitch, guess what they do? They double homer, and he's like, "Told you, Dad. Why are you always knocking down people?"
You got the highs and the lows.
Yeah, so I do that.
You need the highs and the lows, and
so I do that. Yeah, but
I'm trying to be the voice of reason here.
I am what I am. And I just wanted to talk about this briefly. The Indianapolis Colts quarterback situation, as they have signed 44-year-old Philip Rivers to the practice squad with a chance to possibly play the rest of the season. And I wanted to go over this because I had this topic early, and it kind of went away because they were winning. And Daniel Jones was working out. But I wanted to go through – I want to hit Phillip Rivers on that and other options they could have had. And then also just their record since Andrew Luck. And what exactly are the Colts doing and going to do at quarterback?
So I have kind of the ultimate closer. So I kind of wanted you to go ahead and take the lead on this.
Okay, I got you then.
Yeah. If you got it, go ahead, and I'll go ahead. I'll rebut.
Okay. So 2 different things, like I said. What are they doing? What they've done at quarterback since Andrew Luck abruptly retired. Mm-hmm. His last season was 2018. Since then, they have had a different starting quarterback every single season. After Andrew Luck, they had Jacoby Brissett. Then they had Phillip Rivers in 2020, which was the last time he played. Then they had Carson Wentz. Then they had Matt Ryan, who didn't even finish the season. Nick Foles did. And Jeff Saturday was their head coach, which that tells you something already about them going off script to go hire people, players, whatever, coaches. The next year, the starter, Gardner Minshew. Then the next year, their 4th pick of their draft, Anthony Richardson. And then they also had Joe Flacco because Anthony Richardson can't stay healthy. And then this year they had Daniel Jones. And Daniel Jones just tore his Achilles. So guess what?
Yeah, sure did.
2026, the Indianapolis Colts will again have a different starting quarterback. Now, that could be Anthony Richardson. He's still on the team. So maybe he doubles up, or maybe they go after someone in free agency or draft someone else. Who knows? So with Daniel Jones' injury, though, now this season, they have again decided, like you said, to sign 44-year-old Phillip Rivers, who previously played with them for 1 season in 2020. He has not played in 5 years. He's considered an all-timer, right? Great. Never won anything, put up a lot of great numbers.
Yeah.
And that got to me thinking, I was like, was there anyone else out there who was younger than Phillip Rivers or around his age and also hadn't played about the same time? And this was just for fun. And this also came about. It was funny that we got the clip today of Cam Newton talking about this is why he don't retire, because anytime someone could call and he stays in shape. And I believe that. and we don't know what his arm's like anymore. But like you said, Cam does a lot, but Cam Newton is on this list. And I don't know what Phillip Rivers can do. They worked him out. Apparently, they put him on a practice squad. They think maybe, possibly, who knows. Meanwhile, Riley Leonard, I think, is going to start. Are they going to go with someone else? Who knows? They could have signed or tried to get, Derek Carr, Ryan Tannehill, Cam Newton, hell, Tim Tebow, Colin Kaepernick, Tom Brady.
The most popular streamed event was Tiger King.
Yes. Well, this
Tiger
was
King.
it was.
It was COVID. It was the COVID year.
Yeah, that also was.
Yeah, COVID. And I wasn't going to even go with COVID because we all know. So it's like, but is that? Yes. It was, it was also the year, and it was a, where were you moment when you heard this, but it was also the year that Kobe Bryant died.
Yeah.
Kobe died that same year.
Yep.
All right.
Early 2020.
Early 2020. So, like, there's key thing. Like, it's been such a long time from when the last time he actually played professional football. Defenses are totally different now. The schemes are totally different. The rules are different. Like, everything that took place when he played football, it's just the kickoffs. Like everything. It's such a drastic change from the football that man was used to playing, and God bless him. I don't know. He was never a super athletic quarterback. He was always big. He was always durable. He was always reliable and consistent. You knew what you were going to get out of Phillip Rivers as a quarterback. But it's absurd and almost an insult to the game itself, where you can just take a guy like Rivers, who's been out of the league for this long, and just throw him in. And I've heard people say this, and I kind of want to fist fight them in the middle of the street when I hear people say this. But people keep throwing out Joe Flacco as a comparison between Phillip Rivers and him coming back into the league. Joe Flacco never left the league.
Nope.
Joe Flacco has been a consistent NFL quarterback. He has been on teams. Yes, he's hopped around. Yes, he's been on different teams. Yes, he's been on practice squads. But you know what he never stopped doing? Playing football at the highest of levels. And so much so, I don't even know if you know this. Are you aware that Joe Flacco, as of this moment, has the record for the most yards in a football game this season?
That's crazy.
Crazy. So don't make a comparison between old, tall, white quarterbacks and then compare Phillip Rivers, a guy who hadn't played in 5 years, to Flacco, who, again, we've seen what that guy could do. He caught lightning in a bottle and won a Super Bowl one postseason.
Yeah.
We know what that guy is capable of doing. I hope this doesn't end tragically for Phillip Rivers, because, depending on that matchup, man, if a defensive end comes off a corner and just catches him the wrong way, it could be what the hell were we thinking, and why did we throw that guy out there? But this is the post Jim Irsay, R.I.P. Jim Irsay, Indianapolis Colts. You mentioned the Jeff Saturday signing, where they literally just hired a guy that used to play for that franchise, who was on television every day, and just made him a coach for half the year. Didn't work out well. And I guess they want to try all these silly things and just to see if this Phillip Rivers thing is going to work. I don't see it working. But if that's what they want to do, it's fine. The one thing I will say is I'll watch. We'll all listen. When you're anywhere and you hear those tires screeching, you turn your head to look to see if that car is going to crash. So we're going to watch this car crash.
Oh, for sure. It's obvious, like, it's a story, and it's kind of, but again, I don't know what they're thinking. I don't know and he could just go out there and kill it. Who knows, right? He's been throwing through some tire swings. I don't know. But in some Wranglers with Brett Favre. I don't know. All I know is he hasn't played in 5 years. The last person that did anything remotely like this in football in the NFL was Deion Sanders. He was out of the game 3 years before he came back and played with the Baltimore Ravens. And at that time, he was age 37. But also, we talk about Deion Sanders as one of the greatest athletes to ever walk this earth. So, Phillip Rivers at quarterback is not like playing corner. But as you said, not exactly mobile. He's probably got a lot left in his arm because his throwing motion is not like a full throw. So maybe he can't, he's got some stuff left. And then, like I said, we could be wrong. I'm not saying he's going to crash and burn. Even if he gets to play, right? But for the Colts, do they think that Phillip Rivers gives them the best chance to go to the Super Bowl or make the playoffs and win in the playoffs against, the Buffalo Bills, the defense of the defense of the Broncos, the New England Patriots? I mean, even though these teams are up-and-comers now and they've shocked everybody, is Phillip Rivers the difference maker for the Colts making it? They've lost Daniel Jones. They've lost Sauce Gardner. And I don't even think Sauce Gardner was putting him over the edge because, again, quarterback's the main position. You know what I mean? So, I joked about all those.
So here's the thing.
Yeah.
And this is where the only place that I can give the Colts credit in this situation is simple. The AFC is as wide open as it's been in forever. This is the benefit that they have is what we've done several episodes on is that we don't trust any of these teams. The having to go through the Arrowhead Annual Invitational is no longer on the table. Josh Allen, has won. He's had some strong games lately, but we've also seen him struggle this season too. We've seen Lamar Jackson struggle. Joe Burrow is hurt. Aaron Rodgers is hurt. This is their opportunity to just seize on the AFC and go get a win. Yeah. Hell, even the Patriots are having their struggles now. I think they just hey, we got to try something. We're competitive. Their record is good enough for them to still try, and I'm not faulting them for trying. And I just don't understand how the first person on your call sheet is a guy that you haven't seen. It's like, oh, well, he understands our offense. He knows our system. Dude, he was there for a year. And by the way, his last year, I want to say, and this is off the top of my head, I want to say he was either 22 or 24 touchdowns, 11 picks. He wasn't bad the last time he was there. No, he was terrible.
He out of all those quarterbacks I named that they went through since Andrew Luck, I mean, he had a solid year. Carson Wentz had a really good season as well. And, it was 27-7, 27 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. And that's just my Carson Wentz plug. But, I don't know. I get it. It is up for grabs. But, again, I reiterate, I don't think adding Phillip Rivers to the Colts, I don't think they were going to win with Daniel Jones. I stopped believing in him a long time ago. Like you said, he turned back into a pumpkin. If they get matched up, they're not even winning their division. The Houston Texans right now are strong. So I forgot about them. Their defense, C.J. Stroud starting the ball. So, yeah, I get it. Like you said, they're trying. I don't understand calling Phillip Rivers. At this point, like I said, they should have just maybe called Andrew Luck and see if he wanted to come back. He's only 2 years removed from Phillip Rivers' last game. So, like I said, I'm having fun with it because I'm like, might as well just call Andrew Luck. How did Phillip Rivers – again, did you have all these guys on a dartboard and you threw the dart and it landed on Rivers, or you did some kind of generator, name generator, and his name come up because, again, Derek Carr I think would have been a better option, even maybe Ryan Tannehill. At least they played lately.
Tannehill, I'll give it. And the one thing out of all the guys that you've named, I can't really say it for Kaepernick, and I probably wouldn't say it for Cam. But out of all the guys that you named, Tannehill might be the most athletic, at least recently athletic, because Tannehill, he could move around, and he was never great, but I think he would be serviceable. And I know that he was, because there were some options for him to sign as a backup in the offseason, and he said that he was actually waiting and he was going to keep himself ready to have an opportunity to play for a team that had a chance to compete for a championship. It would have been good to at least, I mean, and here's the other thing, to your point, if you're going to call Phillip Rivers, call in Tannehill and make it a competition. Bring both of them in. Who gives a shit? Like, no one's going to hold it against you for signing both of them.
No, make a few of them, man. Like I said, they could have had a workout with all the guys I listed, and they could have did a live on NFL Network, and we would all watch it.
Oh my gosh! Oh man! Listen, just having them just throw deep passes to guys running, 50, 60-yard go routes. I'd watch any of those guys just air it out. Kaepernick with the afro,
Let's watch that workout, man. Cam, with
that goofy ass hat. Cam with the hat, throwing deep passes. I would watch it. So I don't know what they're thinking. If this was the best way they felt if this was the best opportunity that they felt that they had to compete, sure. But there's clearly better options. I mean, there's probably some young college quarterbacks who have some opportunities that they didn't even think about. It's like, we're gonna go with this 45-year-old veteran guy. I don't get it, man.
Yeah, I named a lot of guys, but like other guys who were like backups and played in the league that they could have worked out and signed were like Nate Sudfeld. He was a Philadelphia Eagle. Taylor Heineke, former Panther, Commander. Dorian Thompson-Robinson. That would not have been a good one, but Desmond Ridder. So there's a few names that I looked up that are available that you say, okay, maybe a younger guy. But anyways, we'll see what happens. We'll see if Phillip Rivers even gets on the field, how this works out. But once again, the biggest thing again, they're going to have to find a quarterback for next year and the future. You can't keep rotating quarterbacks and think you're going to win and have success.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, man. I get it.
All right, so we're gonna switch to college football, and the hot story today, it was everywhere. Well, last night and today, Michigan's former head coach, as they fired Sherrone Moore for a scandal, inappropriate relationship with a staff member.
Yeah, and these are things that we've seen happen more. It's been more and more common. The most recent, instance of this was the Ime Udoka scandal in Boston. They ended up getting him up out of the building, and that ended his marriage. So I mean, these are things that are unfortunately that we're seeing that are more common. Conflicts of interest, having people, in positions of power have relationships with people that are on their staff. I've seen a lot. I don't know how much of the reporting on this I trust. I know you've seen much more solid information on it. So if you want to dive into it, like I said, you just got more insight on this than I do.
Yeah, so I just want to, everything's allegedly right now. And by the time we put this out, some of it may have come out. I heard the TMZ, they put out the 911 call. I believe it was from his wife, and they were talking about him suicidal. Then there's alleged rumors, that so since his firing, obviously there was a spat with the wife, as we all would expect, as she finds out that, her husband is cheating with someone else. And this scandal, and then allegedly he then went and broke into this staff member's house, and there was maybe a threat of him, suicide and possibly her, and also she, I think, is alleging that he's been stalking her. So I think that was all on the 911 call. But again, I'm not saying it's true. We're just saying allegedly. This is what's out there. We don't know yet. We know he got arrested. We know he's still in custody. I believe he goes to court on Friday as of this recording. So we'll see what happens there. You mentioned the scandal like Udoka. Again, that was also a bigger one. He, again, another big program team, the Boston Celtics. Then he was with Nia Long, famous actress. So that blew up. And, this is kind of like taking off. Like, it's one thing to get fired for a scandal. And I think I texted you all. I was like, well, he'll be fine. Like, he'll get hired somewhere else. Everybody, they get a job. Like, lay low. You'll get another job because we've seen this before, right? Bobby Petrino down in Arkansas with the co-ed on his motorcycle.
Yeah.
Urban Meyer partying with co-ed, with the co-ed college co-eds at the bar. Rick Pitino involved in a blackmail scandal where he's, cheating with a woman at a restaurant. And even recently, we talked about Lane Kiffin and all his craziness changing jobs. But there's rumors out there about him too, about texting and messaging, again, allegedly. So, and as I mentioned to you too, Lane Kiffin keeps getting a job. Urban Meyer is on TV now as an analyst. He's still got a job. He ain't coaching, but he's still got a job, right?
Dude, I got one better for you.
Bobby Petrino still got hired again, back to Louisville. I'm gonna let you, and Rick Pitino still so. I think Sherrone Moore's fine if it had stopped at, hey, you got fired for this scandal. But yeah, give me what you got.
Art Briles, Baylor, all the sexual assaults, the cover-ups.
Who else? Mel Tucker at Michigan State.
Dude, it's plenty of these where
so it happens.
And this is it happens over and over again. And listen, I'm not the biggest college football guy anyway, so I always try to be objective when it comes to this. But college football is soured with the head football coaches being the dictators that run the program, get all the shine, get all the credit, using young men's bodies to succeed winning football games. And then when things go sideways and the corruption and everything comes into play, whether it's in the form of, like you said, mistresses or money being moved around or sexual assaults, somehow they can always come back with their hands totally clean. Like it's not a big deal. I mean, and this is another thing. Like you're talking about you mentioned like Urban Meyer. Urban Meyer literally had murders take place on his roster while he was a coach. And none of that stuff seems to follow him. You know what I mean? No. Like, I mean, and obviously, I'm not saying that he knew, and I'm not saying that he was contributing to it. But these are things that happened on his watch, and it's still not even associated with him. So, this is with Michigan. This is a terrible situation, and I'm not one of these people that just feels bad for someone who's going through a situation that they put themselves in. This one's a little unique because when all the shit hit the fan and things started to get out of hand, this gentleman apparently went to I'll just kill myself. I'll kill you and I'll kill myself if things don't go my way. And I know I actually texted that to you earlier.
Yeah, I don't. Right,
though. And it's like I think this is going to be different for him. That's a hell of an indictment for you to have as the leader of young men for a college football program. It's going to be hard for people to look past that. Hopefully he's got some money stashed somewhere, and hopefully his divorce doesn't take everything from him. But he is what's the best way for me to put this? He gets the least amount of sympathy from me throughout this entire situation. He's last on the list. Oh. His wife, the mistress, the kids? Team, the players.
No, his kids.
His children, yes. But what I'm saying is everybody gets sympathy. He's last on the list. He just happened to take this the hardest, and he also happened to be the person who initiated. He struck the match that lit all of this shit on fire, and I'm not going to give him a pass on it. So I don't think this is something he recovers from, and that may be ridiculous thinking about all the list of names that we just rattled off of coaches who've done terrible things and they all got jobs. But I think the fact that when it all started to crash and burn, he's like, I'll just take myself out. It's like, come on, man. You don't want that in your building. You don't want that attached to your program, and you don't want that leading your football team.
No, I mean, again, like you said, there's no sympathy for him. He did it to himself, if all this is true. But it went from, like we said, it went from bad to worse in a hot second, and that's I think it's showing some mental weakness on his side. And again, you just got to be honest and own it. You know what I mean? So. Yeah, he didn't handle it great. Michigan apparently knew about this for a while, and they finally got the evidence I guess they needed to fire him. So that's a whole nother story because, again, you got recruits, you got players involved. And the only thing I say is that this, that Moore really, if ever has been someone fumble an opportunity, right? He filled in for Jim Harbaugh when Harbaugh was suspended. They won a national championship. He became the first black head coach at Michigan. He's in his second year. They still a solid program. I think it's a solid job for whoever's going to get that job. And, for him to basically lose the job and then have the family issues too, man, all in a span of 24 hours, it is a tough story and a tough situation. But again, no sympathy for him. But I'm like, damn, he fumbled. Like, what an opportunity. What a, that he had. And he really, to use that term, football term, fumbled it. And then I remembered another situation that was totally different. Do you remember Pokey Chapman, the LSU women's coach, basketball coach?
Wow, yeah.
She had to quit coaching because she had a relationship with a player. So that is another name to add to this list of shame. I don't know what she's doing now. I know she had gotten hired to LSU and was a up and coming coach, and then of course had to, like I said, she had to quit for having a relationship with a player. So staff member, player, these leaders, these coaches, they got to do better. And again, they're in college, and I don't even think it matters in college. So we mentioned, Udoka with the Celtics. Female members of the staff now are more and more prominent in sports. They're assistant coaches, they're trainers, they're whatever their own staff, and these leaders have to do better. Because again, dude, like I said, Moore had a good deal there at Michigan.
Yeah, no, a damn good deal, and it's so funny. You use the proper words to describe that. You're just saying, females in sports roles.
Yeah,
and as assistants and things of that nature. Pokey Chapman is now a current assistant coach since 2022 for the Seattle Storm.
Okay, so not college.
Not college. No, not at all. She went out of college and went straight into the professional ranks.
Okay.
Where everyone there is an adult. So I guess maybe that's okay for you to date. A player.
I don't know. I don't know what their rules are in the. But I'm just saying, like you said, Udoka, staff member. I mean, it's a different level. I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like Moore, could he be an assistant in the NFL? Or, maybe one day down the road. I mean, we don't know how this is going to unfold because, like you said, we're still waiting on details. Everything we talked about, like I said, is alleged. But, we don't know how this is really just happened, and we don't know what's going to happen with them. Hopefully it works out in some way for everyone where, there's nothing crazy, too crazy. That's what's already happened. But, I don't know where he goes. Like I said, we don't know all the details. We don't know how it's going to unfold. But, again, maybe it's an assistant job later in the NFL. Maybe he coaches high school. I don't know.
Yeah, like I said, it's going to take – he's going to be a real, reclamation project. And I think I kind of gave you the blueprint for him earlier when we were texting about it. Like, I think the thing for him is to fix himself, get whatever, tutelage, get whatever counseling, get whatever professional help that you can get, and then just ease yourself back. Like, the last thing on his mind should be football. And and maybe football is one of those things. I know a lot of guys like to treat, especially people within the professional ranks, and they look at sports as their outlet. It's therapeutic for them, and clearly this wasn't therapeutic enough for him to not make the mistakes that he made. I think he'll be okay with some time, but him trying to rush back into something, I think he needs to take some time off and make sure that his family life and everything is straight, work on himself, and then we can start to have those types of conversations. But I mean, he'll be okay. I know his bank account looked better than mine.
I think ultimately, long as nothing crazy happened, I think he'll be fine. He had his Tiger Woods moment. Now he can, like you said, take care of himself. I'm not joking. I'm just saying, he did.
Yeah,
he had his Tiger Woods moment, and like I said, I agree. Take care of himself, and then one day maybe get back to football.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that I think that's all. That's the only thing he'll be able to do.
All right, so that is another episode of Fanatically Speaking. I am Kent, the co-host and promoter.
I am Logoff, the Logoff legend, the hater of social media. I am the co-host and producer of the show. Thanks again for listening to another episode of Fanatically Speaking. We are all over all the social media platforms, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Kent, where can they listen? Can't they listen to us on every podcast platform?
Every major podcast platform. There may be something that we don't know about, but no one's listening on those. It's the main ones, mostly everyone listens on Apple, Spotify, Amazon. I think there's iHeartRadio. There's other ones. But, yeah, anywhere there's podcasts, we are there. We are out there. Go listen to us. Again, interact with us on social media. And then share, like, follow, download, whatever. Get it out there. Tell someone. Tell a friend. Phone a friend. And, just keep us going, man. Like I said, listen to us, and then, share. Get it out there.
Share, like, post, review, follow. Yeah.
All right. That's all I got.
Yep, same thing,
It's a
man.
wrap.